Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lindsay McNamara, and I'm an undergraduate student at the University of Delaware. I'm a senior pursuing a Bachelor of Arts degree in Environmental Studies with a concentration in Environment, Society, and Sustainability through UD's College of Earth, Ocean, and Environment. I am honored to speak on behalf of University of Delaware students, and I am very grateful for the wonderful opportunity of sitting on this panel. Looking back on my childhood, I fondly remember watching the stages of butterfly metamorphosis in the first grade, catching and identifying insects in the 5th grade, and going on nature walks with my camera by 8th grade. When I reached high school, I took AP Environmental Science, a class where we were able to test the water quality of Black River, the closest body of water to my school in Chester, New Jersey. I do realize that, unlike me, not every child growing up in the United States enjoys nerdy activities like bird watching. Can the appreciation that I have for the planet, which seemed to develop naturally, be taught to those who spent their childhood inside playing video games, oblivious to the ecosystems within their own backyards? My peers and I grew up in what seems to be the pre-climate change generation. Although climate disruption has been occurring since the Industrial Revolution, the idea of human impact on the environment did not saturate the media until the early 21st century. The Green Revolution in America will certainly impact the curriculum of the next generation, but where does that leave students my age? In my experiences at the University of Delaware, I have seen students manifesting the idea of conspicuous consumption. At first glance, a student wearing a hemp necklace, Tom's shoes, and a floral skirt with an Nalgene and canvas bag in tow appears earth-friendly. Ask that student how much he or she drives around campus, whether he or she consumes local food, and whether he or she pressures local congressmen to pass renewable energy policies, and the answer may surprise you. Although students my age seem to be coming a little late in the game to the environmental discussion, I have hope for a climate future because of the incredible children that I have had the pleasure of meeting through my job at the Hunterdon County Parks Department Summer Nature Program. Every weekday for 8 weeks during the past 2 summers, I would arrive at Mountain Farm Teetertown Preserve to implement the 1-week program I developed for my 3rd and 4th grade nature campers. Educators must be discussing some form of climate change awareness, as my 8- and 9-year-old campers are already familiar with going green. My campers could identify our composting bin, or asking where the recycling bin was, and proudly explain the organic and locally grown foods that are a part of their diet. 2 summers ago, I discussed carbon dioxide emissions and the dwindling polar bear population with the campers. We coupled this discussion with a sustainability game where we brainstormed ways to be more energy efficient in each room of the house. The campers surprised me every week, already familiar with squiggly light bulbs and biodiesel. One camper referenced French fries as an alternative form of energy, and hybrid cars like the Toyota Prius and Honda Insight. This past summer, I did an activity to illustrate the concept of river pollution flowing downstream. I drew a river across 10 pieces of paper and asked each camper to take a piece. I then told them that they'd become millionaires and they could afford whatever house they wanted on their riverfront property. As I'm sure you can imagine, the children had rather creative ideas. I had floating trampolines and zoos and roller coasters and helicopter landing pads and rather eccentric pets. But I had one camper, however, named Adam, who drew a simple yellow house with a fenced-in yard for his dog to play in and a swing set for his kids to play on. When I asked him why he chose to draw his part of the river in such a way, he told me, "I don't want anything I don't need." Now, while Adam is a rarity, it only takes one person with a great idea to make major progressive changes in our society. The earlier children learn about their responsibility as a steward of the planet, the more time they have to develop into concerned conservationists and serve as the voice of the future, which is why I am a strong advocate for environmental education being incorporated into the curriculum as early as possible. Though bringing environmental aspects into the classroom has proven to work efficiently, there is no better way than to learn than experiencing something firsthand. The children at Nature Camp are learning about the environment not in a confined classroom, but instead outdoors, which allows for them to be surrounded by the beauty of nature and understand the idea of conservation through their own personal experience. It is incredibly exciting as a nature program leader to see young girls wearing snakes as necklaces and watching campers' smiles stretch wide when they find a skull inside an owl pellet. Having a camper come up and ask if we can check on the swallow fledglings in the barn, or having a swarm of children running at me and screaming how someone found a frog or an insect gives me hope for the future. If these young children foster an appreciation for all things outdoors, they will learn to live sustainably as adults. The idea of an interactive, hands-on approach to climate change education can be successful for my peers, those of us who are out of the elementary school system before the greening of the American media. Through traveling to the ACPA Institute on Sustainability in Boulder, Colorado this past June, I became familiar with Ohio State University's Buckeye Metro Farm. What started as an initiative by a few members of a student group has become a model for climate change education. Passionate students with a vision were lucky enough to obtain some land on campus property for 3 plots totaling roughly an acre of farmland, and a number of grants and support from faculty and staff to make their dream a reality. One of the plots is even headed toward certified organic. The OSU Student Farm involves students from Metro High School and local organizations to help plant and sell their products at the farmers market. The university's dining and catering services buys products to use in the campus dining halls. The Horticulture and Crop Science Department offers an organic gardening class taught on the student farm. The department has even created a concentration within the Horticulture and Crop Science curriculum on sustainable food systems because of the farm's popularity among students. It seems to be a well-oiled machine at this point that involves not only the students and the university, but the surrounding community. The OSU Student Farm can serve as a model for climate change education at the college level. Not only are students literally digging in the dirt, they are giving back to the community and have the option of receiving college credit for their experience to boot. In the end, I'm hopeful for our future. I believe that education is the key to progressing towards a greener American climate, environmentally, economically, and politically. To quote Baba Dayom, a great ecologist, "For in the end, we will conserve only what we love. We will love only what we understand, and we will understand only what we are taught."